You're listening to Upcycling with Deb. I'm your host, Deb Colameta. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Deb Colameta, or you can go to my website, thedebsite.com. I'm very, very excited about our topic, something that we all do and we all want to do. We all eat and we all want to save money, right? A friend of mine brought to my attention a hidden gem that is in my sphere. My friend Marie had been talking about a particular store, and I was like, okay, it sounds fun. It sounds like a good place to shop and all that. She was starting to talk about it the way that I talk about Dollar Tree and Five Below. I mean, she was getting very excited about this place. The name of the store is Aldi's. It's a grocery store. It's about the same size as Trader Joe's type stores, but maybe a little bit bigger. And they have a lot more selection. This is not a paid advertisement or anything. It's just something that's really made my life easier. It's kind of nice too. It shakes up your food routine. You know, we get so sick of going to the same grocery stores all the time. So going someplace like here, it gives you new inspiration for making some good meals. We've got Marie calling in today, and she's going to help us. She's our Aldi's expert. She doesn't work there. She's just an Aldi's fan, and she got me to go there, and I'm so glad that she did. My friend Marie, who is going to break it down for you and give you the know before you go for going to Aldi's. Hi, Marie. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Deb. Thank you for having me.
I'm really grateful that you introduced Aldi's to me, because I have found so many family-friendly, easy foods to make. Tell me a little bit about, why do you love shopping at Aldi's?
Well, Aldi's is, like you said, there's a preconceived notion about Aldi's, but once you go into the store, you realize it's so much more. The cost is the number one factor why I shop there. Everything is a lot cheaper, and the value that you're getting for the product is a lot better. One of the things that draws me to Aldi's specifically is that they don't add any synthetic colors to any of their Aldi's products. They don't add any MSG, and there are no partially hydrogenated oils in the food. So no matter what line you pick up at Aldi's, whether it's the organic line or simply the regular Aldi's brand, no matter what Aldi's brand you grab when you're in there, it's not going to have those things in it. So it takes a lot of the concern and label reading that I tend to do in the store out of the equation. My daughter is MSG sensitive, so I have to worry about all of those added MSG in the shelf stable foods. So it's kind of nice going into the store and I don't have that worry, and I'm not paying extra for those types of products. And normally the cost for an organic line is quite expensive, and now I can feed my family on the budget without having to spend time before and in the store trying to coupon to fit in my specific needs that month.
It's such a great point. As you're talking, it's making me think. At this point, when people buy a car, they've kind of made it so that the safety features are standard. You know, just because you buy the highest level of the car doesn't mean you deserve more safety than the person who buys the base model. With the organic products, with the healthy products, the preservative-free, the never-any's, the no GMOs, why isn't that accessible at all price points? And for people who have food insecurity anyway, someone's trying to get a meal on the table, they can't spend 3 times more for the organic product. To me, it's a great equalizer, and Aldi's is doing a great service to every person from every economic level to give them that accessibility to the healthier foods. We're just so used to the cost of items being so expensive, and going into the grocery store and filling your cart and having it be over $200. Marie brought up pricing, and I actually went right before the holidays for the first time and was able to find all these specialty items at like Dollar Tree prices practically. Just to show you a couple of things that I got just for the charcuterie boards. I got some fig spread. This came in a 4-pack. I think it was like $2 or something. Another thing that Marie introduced me to was the sauces. And there's like the Aldi's teriyaki sauce. There's the hoisin sauce. You can use that for dipping or for marinating. If you have chicken that's frozen, just defrost your chicken and cook it up, mix it with the sauce. I like to fry up a few onions or saute the onions, peppers, some extra veggies that you might have. Cook the chicken, and at the very end, take it off the heat and add one of these sauces. So many easy options, low prices. Those sauces are like $1 or $2 each, and you've got a really healthy meal on the table. I just shared a couple of my favorite products. Marie, what are some of your favorite products that you like to buy at Aldi's?
The grass-fed beef, they have a Simply Nature organic line, and the grass-fed ground beef and steaks are really great. And they are the cost of regular steaks and ground beef at, let's say, for example, a Giant Eagle. So I can get an organic, grass-fed, no hormone added, antibiotic free, and a piece of meat or steak or pork. And it really makes me feel better serving that to my family.
Yes. And actually, that's one of the reasons we started talking about this, is because I was complaining about how expensive it was to get organic food. And you said, oh, if you like organic, you should think about Aldi's. And I was like, oh, okay. We didn't really have any right near me. We have one like 5 miles away, but we have so many other grocery stores right near me. I tend to typically run to those. One of the reasons why I didn't go to Aldi was because when I went to Syracuse, Aldi, their grocery store, the smaller market, was in an area of Syracuse that just wasn't super safe. So I knew Aldi's existed, but I'd never set foot in one. And you had mentioned too that they started to go through a bit of a makeover, that they wanted to make it a little bit more like a boutique experience. And I definitely found that when I went to shop there, with their charcuterie stuff, with their family-friendly things, with their organic products. They have a line or a seal of approval for Never Any, which is like never any GMO products or the growth hormones. Are there any other must-have products that you have at Aldi's?
My family loves the take and bake pizzas. They're about a 16-inch pizza, and you can get them. They have pepperoni, veggies. They also have a cauliflower crust pizza, but any of those are just a great option. Any of the take and bake items in general, any of the fast and ready meals, but the pizzas specifically are very good.
I agree. In the beginning of our Aldi's, there's a little kind of grab and go meal section if you're pressed for time. The act of going grocery shopping takes enough time out of my schedule between driving over there and unpacking it, kind of organizing as I put the stuff away. Sometimes I don't want to also then open up a recipe and like do a bunch of measuring and all that. So it's kind of nice to have those grab and go meals. And then you can be putting away your groceries and heating up the oven and then just kind of stick something in the oven. But as you mentioned, a lot of the products have those guarantees, the freshness guarantee, it's organic, or they use, no hormones, it's made in the US. Not only does it taste good, it's not that expensive, but it's just so convenient. I don't know if you feel this way, Marie, but I feel like with COVID and the spikes that we're facing, we just don't go out to eat as much. We don't go into a restaurant as much, certainly not with the kids. But also, I kind of shy away from a lot of takeout because I feel like if we limit that a little bit, we're taking steps to be healthier in general, not to mention the fat content. So I feel like it's healthier that I can see the ingredients. Anytime you prepare something from scratch in your kitchen, it's pretty much always going to be healthier than what you get from takeout. I try to cook as much as I can, but with homework and running around and sports and activities, it can be tricky. But I love the quick options that they have. We've had such good luck with everything that we've tried at this store, and it's really saved our mealtime. We got into some bad habits over the pandemic, which I think a lot of people can relate to, where, you send my husband to the grocery store and he comes back with different food than I would have put in the grocery cart, or you send him with a list and he comes back and says, yeah, they didn't have a lot of the stuff that was on the list, still having supply chain issues and whatnot. So it's been a real struggle for us. Not to mention, I just kind of lose steam by the end of the day in trying to find dinner time meal options that are healthy and easy had been a real challenge before I went to Aldi's. They even have one of these meals that is a kit that you buy in the ready to prepare meals, where it's like $12 for a tray of fettuccine Alfredo that Caitlin can make by herself. And it's all microwavable. And there's not a lot of junk in it. So it's not the healthiest meal in the world, but it has grilled chicken. It does have the noodles, and it has everything that you would need. And you just kind of dump it in and mix it around and microwave it. And so once in a while, why not? I mean, if you're going to get takeout, this has got to be better than takeout. And to feed 4 people for $12 or $13 and be able to outsource it to my 6-year-old to, have her make it with minimal supervision, I'll sign it up. Aldi's all day. You can check out their website for more information about health and the different ingredients that are in each product. If you have a particular interest in allergy information, or what kind of products, what is in the food that you're buying to fuel your family. Whatever you find in Aldi's, just kind of wander around and don't go with any preconceived expectations, and you will be floored with what they offer, whether it's knockoffs or dupes of exercise equipment. At some Aldi's, if they sell alcohol, they have amazing mixers and alcoholic products. Their Prosecco is supposed to be amazing. So really just kind of changes it up a little bit. I mean, what are we doing for fun these days? Pretty much food shopping is the highlight of getting out of the house. So got to do it anyway. Why not make it fun and cost effective? And it's kind of fun to try new things, get your kids to expand their palates and think about what they can try. Any other favorites that you have, Marie?
The bread and bakery section. Specifically, they have a sprouted grain bread, or they have like a seed-tastic type grainlicious, it's called. And you can't really go wrong with those two. They're great options. All of the bread in general, if you're looking for like keto or gluten-free or something, again, with the more sprouted or whole grain, they have a lot of choice.
I'm glad you brought that up. Keto options, gluten-free, allergy or intolerance sensitive items. They had things like that in abundance. And they had some bakery products. I think we got a lava cake. It was a small cake, maybe enough for just the 4 of us for one dessert, but you don't want it hanging around. So it's almost better to have that smaller cake. And I think it was like $4. I mean, I couldn't put that cake together for $4. Even a mixed cake, you got to buy the mix, you got to take the time to make it, as far as the breads and the healthy breads and the cinnamon rolls, the naan. My daughter loves eating the naan. And one other product I wanted to mention that you had enticed me to go to Aldi's for was the frozen breaded chicken breasts. That has been really helpful for my family, because sometimes I'll make a meal and I feel like it's healthy, but one of the kids might not like it or whatnot. And I don't want to end up being a short order cook. I don't want to have to make many items. But if the oven is already heated up, if I put some of those breaded patties on there, I can take it out. We put some rice with it or vegetables, and then you've got another meal for them. And then everybody eats something healthy. Everyone walks away from the table happy. I love their vegetables. They've got tons of smoothie options, frozen veggies, frozen fruit, easy things. Just take it, open it up, dump it in the pan, dump it in the blender. It's really made my life easier, and it's definitely very budget friendly. We promised we'd give the listener a know before you go. You had told me exactly how to approach shopping at Aldi's. And I don't know, I would have been lost. I would have been a babe in the woods. Well, not so much babe these days, but I would have been lost in the woods without your tips. Can you tell me a couple of examples of what you need to bring to Aldi's and what you need to be prepared for when you go to Aldi's?
The first thing is you need to bring a quarter. You need a quarter for the cart, because you need to rent the cart. And you put the quarter in and you'll get it back when you're done with your shopping trip. But it throws a lot of people off at first when they don't realize that. And it's basically just so that people return the carts back to the cart corral. And the second thing I'd say is bring your own bags. You do need to have your own bags. In my part of the country, we still have plastic bags at the grocery store, so that does throw people off. But you can always grab boxes there at Aldi's. They kind of pile them up sometimes, and you can use those for your groceries and just recycle them later. Another good tip would be it's not going to look like what you expect maybe a grocery store to look like. The brands will be slightly different. Most discount stores have regular brands that you're used to seeing. Mostly an Aldi store is going to be 85% store all these brands. But don't be afraid, don't be intimidated, jump in, and the products are very, very similar. And sometimes I'd say a lot better. And probably the last tip, the cashiers are very fast. Very fast. So if they are checking you out by the time you have your cart unloaded, they will have you already almost wrung out at the end. And one more bonus tip is the Aldi's find aisle and the deals of the week. You will turn down a corner and then all of a sudden you'll see jack-o'-lanterns if it's that time of year, or one time we saw a lawnmower or whatever the deal of the week is. If you see it and you like it, grab it, because they don't usually carry very many and they go very fast if it's a hot ticket item.
You never know what you're going to find in that center aisle. I saw things like wooden cutting boards, a 3-pack for $6. They had all kinds of exercise equipment, blankets. They had holiday decor. They must have been selling them at cost. Like you said, Marie, don't be afraid to try the off-brand or the knockoffs, the Aldi's dupes. And I've had very good luck with their freshness and with taste. And again, you're saving a ton of money. So great tips. I love that. I mean, with the quarter, I did the walk of shame because I walked all the way to the carts and then I realized I didn't have my quarter. And I'm like, oh, Marie told me I was supposed to bring a quarter. And so I went back, I got a quarter, and you just have to watch someone else do it. It's not hard. And what a genius way to keep the carts corralled. I love how efficient they are. Another good tip is that if you find you want to go to Aldi's or just kind of take a peek at what they've got or what's coming up, there are a couple of pages you can follow. On Instagram, there's Aldi favorite finds, and you can look those up and they highlight some of the steals and deals that you can find at your local Aldi's, hopefully. And then there's a Facebook group called Aldi Aisle of Shame, and you can join that and people kind of report the finds and, you know, their success rate with some of the different products. Did you say that they were a European company?
Yes, originally from Germany. And they were somehow affiliated with Trader Joe's. They kind of split off, and it's a very similar style of a Trader Joe's where, you know, you kind of see limited products and it's always rotating and it's more of the Trader Joe's brand.
Marie, is there anything else you wanted to add about Aldi's?
I hope everybody gives it a chance. They're really going to enjoy it. And I think with the pandemic and everybody being sick in this time of year with flu, it's good to have our immune systems operating at top-notch level as best we can. And everybody wants to feed their family the best way they can. So trying a new place, trying some different foods, trying some healthier options, I think that's going to get us where we need to be to get over this season of colds and flus and COVID. And when we get into the store and you get into Aldi's, you're going to find your shopping trip is much quicker. The aisles, they're less congested. They're shorter. It's a smaller store in general. So you'll get in, you'll get out. You're not couponing. You're not taking more time inside the store. So you're going to get out faster. And I think that's what really everybody wants. They don't want to spend more time in the stores. I think people will really find it's a better shopping experience for them.
Well said. I completely agree. Thank you so much for introducing me to Aldi's and to the listeners. You're an influencer here because you're going to be influencing people to check it out. We have a lot of locations here in the New England region, and it's definitely worth a little drive. Bring a cooler for your trunk, put the refrigerated and frozen items in that cooler, and make the trip. You'll be glad you did. Well, Marie, thank you so much for all this helpful information. I hope somebody listens to this and is also inspired to try Aldi's.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Upcycling with Deb. I'm your host, Deb Colameta. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram at Deb Colameta, or go to my website, thedebsite.com.